radar indicated rotation, some pretty tight circulation here in southern Evangeline Parish. That will continue to work its way towards the north and east.
Right. These winds are going to get faster. Remember, top speeds of this storm, 150 mile per hour sustained, gusting to 170 miles per hour. So we got a lot to go throughout the night.
Overall, the thinking is that we see that wintry mix staying north of I-10 here as we go into the overnight. Back out and about, there are some tree limbs down here and there, but after the storm left, we're left with some beautiful views here of a sunset, a preview of some nice weather on the way for the state as the cold front moves in. And in this, we could see what's called embedded supercell, so pretty much rotating storms in this line. That's where we see that chance for tornadic weather as well as those straight line winds. I'm going to walk off real quick because you're going to see you have my seal of approval for the rest of the week there on out. 70s, sunshine, gorgeous weather on the way. A tornado moved through the area. Debris was detected on the radar as the storm moved through, and unfortunately here at the ground, multiple homes destroyed. And that is one of many sandbag distribution areas here across Iberia Parish that were set up today. Pretty large oak tree down here on Sterling Street, just north of downtown Lafayette. You can see those down power lines. Many of those without power, and that's all thanks to those strong winds brought by Hurricane Delta.
Always tracking, always alerting. Here's your Storm Track 15 weather.
Well, as you go throughout tonight, mostly a cold rain for Acadiana, but we're going to break things down. Some of us may be seeing some frozen precipitation working its way in, but I think the bigger story tomorrow, we're going to be very cold here across Acadiana. We eventually warm up as we go a little bit later on into next week, but new as of just a couple minutes ago, a winter weather advisory now out for Evangeline Parish. Now, what we're looking at right now, mainly just the chance of some frozen precipitation working in, could set up some slippery conditions here on the road, but no accumulation still expected here across Acadiana. You can see it here on the regional radar. Most of that frozen precipitation, so that snow at least, well towards our north, mainly Alexandria north. So Alexandria and Natchitoches picking up some rain as of right now. As it gets south towards Acadiana, we're dealing with rain, and the reason for that, well, it's our ground temperatures. We're in the lower 40s for the most part, some upper 30s once you get north of I-10, but not cold enough quite yet here at the surface to see any of that wintry precipitation mixing in. And the thinking is right now, we stay warm enough that we don't see that transition over. You can see here on Futurecast as you go throughout the rest of the evening and the overnight, our temperatures are on the cold side. We're going to be in the lower 40s to upper 30s here throughout the next few hours with on and off rain. It's not going to be completely steady through the overnight, but you can see light to moderate at times. Now, some of the models indicating we could see the switch over to wintry mix here in Evangeline Parish. That's why we've been added to that winter weather advisory in that specific parish. But for the rest of us, a cold rain. We could see some sleet working in at times, but like I mentioned, no accumulations expected. 2 o'clock in the morning, most of us in the upper 30s. And as you go throughout your Monday, it's going to be a cold day. And it should be dry by the time that you're waking up. So this is 7 o'clock in the morning. Most of us in the middle to upper 30s, and as you get into the afternoon, well, not getting much warmer. In fact, barely getting to the lower 40s. And if this verifies, this would be the coldest day here in Acadiana since 2018. So almost 3 years ago was the last time we've seen temperatures this cold. That continues through the afternoon here in cloudy conditions, so an overall gloomy day to start off the work week. As for that afternoon forecast by 2 p.m., well, we're barely making it to 43 degrees with overcast conditions. And as we head into the overnight, we do start to clear things up a little bit. That makes for a pretty cold start to your Tuesday morning. So we're 43 tonight, 51 for your Tuesday. So looking pretty warm comparatively to what we're seeing for your Monday. 30 degrees though to start off your Tuesday. And then finally that nice weather returns are back into the middle 60s sunshine as you go towards the end of the week.
Tracking, always alerting. Here's your Storm Track 15 weather.
Welcome back. Storm Track 15 meteorologist Cory Smith joining us for a look at the weather. Cory, in classic 2020 fashion, we are expecting some potentially severe weather tomorrow. Tell us about it.
Yeah, just in time for the very last day of 2020. Possibility of some stronger storms moving through Acadiana. We're going to break down what you need to know. As for tonight, things should be quiet. Clouds sticking around. Those storms move through tomorrow. New Year's Day looking cooler, that sunshine returning. But for tomorrow, we will be having a severe weather day here across Acadiana. And what are the things that we know, what we don't know right now? Well, what we do know is that it looks like those ingredients for that severe weather in place as of right now, and those storms will be moving through the area in the afternoon and evening hours, especially as we get a little bit around, I would say, the 4 to 9 o'clock time frame. All of Acadiana is underneath that severe threat area as well. What we don't know, well, the extent of the warm front. I'm going to talk about this here in a moment, where these storms will exactly form, which is a given in these types of situations, and if this will end up being more of a damaging wind threat more than a tornado threat, and we'll talk about that as well. So overall here, let's just start off with the Storm Prediction Center. We have an enhanced risk from the viewing area. That just means that we have that possibility of widespread severe weather as we go into your Thursday. What's going on? Well, we have an area of low pressure that's starting to ramp up here in the overnight. Now, notice this front towards our north. That's that warm front I was talking about. Cold front off to the west. We're in what's known as the warm sector, and that's where we typically see those stronger storms. Now, there is some model discrepancy on whether this front stays more so in the central portions of the state, or if it gets closer to I-10. The further south it goes, I think the lower our severe threat ends up being. The more north it is, more chance of a widespread event as we go into tomorrow. But that cold front pushes through as we head late into tomorrow night. Behind that, some cold air moves in just in time to start off the weekend here. You can see high pressure moving in behind it. But let's track everything out hour by hour. You can see here in the overnight, just some clouds in the region. 9 o'clock in the morning, maybe some light showers out in western portions of Louisiana. But around noon is when I expect the chance of possibly some isolated storms moving through. If there's enough sunshine to start off the day, some of these could be stronger, possibly severe. That could deal with either a wind threat or a tornado threat, really just depending on how these set up. And we'll be watching that through the early afternoon. Now, right now, the main event looks to come through in the evening. It's that cold front. You can see it moving in around Lake Charles here around 4 p.m., going to continue to work its way towards the east. By 5 to 6 o'clock, we're going to see this entering the viewing area, and in this, we could see what's called embedded supercells, so pretty much rotating storms in this line. That's where we see that chance for tornadic weather as well as those straight line winds as it continues to push across the viewing area. By 7 o'clock, moving through Acadia Parish as well as Vermilion Parish, and continue to work its way towards the east. Lafayette Parish, Iberia Parish, and St. Mary and St. Martin Parish around 8 to 9 p.m. in the evening. This continues to work its way towards the east. By 11 o'clock, I think we're starting to dry things out here, and that cooler air starting to move into the area. Clouds will stick around, though, as we go into your Friday, I think partly cloudy conditions. So as for those threats right now, the tornado threat looks to be the highest, and it's going to mainly be in that line that's moving through, although we can't rule out those straight line winds. Always a high chance of seeing those when we see those squall lines moving through. Hail, flooding look to be pretty low at this time. As for the timing, mainly between 4 p.m. and around 9 p.m. is when we expect some of those stronger storms to move through the area, but we could be seeing some stronger storms as early as 1 to 2 o'clock here in the afternoon. So you can see that threat really for the afternoon through around 10 to 11 o'clock when that line clears the area here. After that morning forecast, we should be dry, but on the windy side, there's actually wind advisory out for that time period. As for your New Year's Eve, well, you can see those storms moving through in the later portion of the day. 7-day forecast, not looking too bad behind this system. You can see that sunshine returns and sticks around for a while.
Your weather authority, here's Storm Team 15's Cory Smith.
We saw those showers and storms today, but those are long gone. We've kept some clouds in place, 77 degrees. The current temperature here at I-10 and Ambassador, that dew point at 73. Now, that is going to be falling as we head into tomorrow. That's going to lead to some pretty comfortable weather as you head into tomorrow. We'll still be hot, though, so temperature is still in the 90s, and that continues as we head towards your Labor Day. But as we go into next week, the rain chances are returned, and that's ahead of a cool down on the way. So we'll get into that in just a moment. But what you can expect tonight and tomorrow, we'll see those clouds sticking around, starting to burn off as we head towards the later portions of the night here. Temperature is getting into the middle 70s for our low, so where we've been really the last few nights. And as we get into the morning hours, as you're getting up, going outside, you're going to notice, well, we'll be on the warm side but that air much drier than what we've been seeing. We'll have a wind coming out of the northeast, and with that, those dew points much lower. So we're not going to be dealing with that heat index that we've been seeing the last few days. And notice, as you get in the afternoon, no chances of rain either. We're expecting abundant sunshine as you head through your Sunday and into your Monday as well. Still staying hot though, but we will cool down eventually. Taking a look at that comfort index for tomorrow, well, that humidity coming down quite a bit. In fact, we're in that dry category. We're going to see dew points getting into the lower 60s to upper 50s. We haven't seen that in quite some time here across Acadiana. Some very nice weather for the holiday weekend. Now, as you go past the weekend here, we're going to see that southerly flow start to return as we head towards the middle of next week. And with that, we see the chance of some showers and storms as you go, I would say, Tuesday through Thursday here. But notice, there's a cold front coming out of the west. This is most likely going to be our first true cold front of the season here moving through. Now, are we going to be cold? Not exactly, but it will cool us down. Taking a look at those temperatures as you head throughout this week, we are warm to start things off, but notice as you get towards Thursday and into Friday, that cooler air starts to move in and it sticks around as we head throughout the weekend here. I'm expecting temperatures, at least high temperatures, to be in the lower 80s. So a lot cooler than what we've been at. We've been in the middle 90s here for about the last week or so. Pretty big change, our first real front of the season, but we're going to be warm before that for the rest of your Labor Day weekend. 94 degrees for tomorrow, mostly sunny skies for Labor Day itself, sitting at 95 with sunny conditions as well. The tropics staying hot. On top of that, we do have a low chance of a tropical wave forming here out in the Caribbean Sea, but I don't really think much comes out of that. Very likely, though, that we see our next two named systems as we go into the next week here. As for right now, I am thinking that these probably will be staying out to sea. We'll have to keep an eye as they continue to work their way out towards the west. But we have some strong high pressure in place over the northern part of the Atlantic Ocean. I think might help to curve those up, but we'll have to watch. Looks like things stay active, though, throughout the next few weeks here across the tropics, so we won't be done talking about things quite yet here. And taking a look at the 7-day forecast, well, ending out the Labor Day weekend here, pretty nice weather. Those dew points are going to be low, and that's really the main thing here. Even though we're seeing those middle 90s, much more comfortable than what we've seen the last few days. That rain chance does start to move back in as we head towards the middle of next week, but I think that reward comes as we head into next weekend. We're going to see those temperatures in the lower 80s as we head Friday and into Saturday. Those overnight lows getting into the lower 60s. So definitely some cooler air, some of the coolest we've seen in quite some time.
Okay.